Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Star FM Stadium here in Townsville for this QBL matchup between the Townsville Heat and the Cairns Marlins. My name's Mark Roble, and I'm joined tonight by Shane Frolling. Welcome tonight, Shane.
Thanks, Mark. And before you kick off, I'd just like to put out there that tonight Mitch Norton was honoured by having his banner hung up in the stadium as a local legend, and nothing better than a young lad that was born and bred in Townsville, has obviously gone on to have a great NBL career at a number of clubs. Would have still been a Crocodile had they not have folded, but has now found himself over to the powerhouse that Perth is, and absolutely deserves to be recognised as a local legend. Great player for Townsville at this level, and a great Black Stars player. So I'm certainly going to hang my hat on him being a Black Stars boy.
All right, Shane, you got a chance to catch up with the Marlins coach, Jamie O'Loughlin, before the game, and have a bit of a chat to him. What are their thoughts tonight?
Yeah, look, they know they have to deal with the size and strength of Townsville, so they're definitely going to try and penetrate, make those big boys move, look at putting them in some trouble with some on-ball screens. They've got a few guys who are quite quick in the team. They have one or two that are slow when I look at Kerry Williams still getting around, but, you know, as good a coach he is, he might not be playing as well as he used to. And they're definitely going to try and play a physical game on defence.
And look, talking to Coach Anderson before the game, you know, this game, a little bit of a different twist for them. They'll actually look to slow the tempo down a little bit tonight. I think they want to try and play a little bit more in the half court and execute tonight instead of being out in that running game as much. They think that's where their advantage will lie tonight. You know, the size mismatch that they will have, they'll look to try and get the ball inside, obviously, to the bigs, and in particular, you know, Harry should have some good matchups for him to be able to exploit tonight. So it'll be a battle between two different game styles, obviously. You know, game one of this season split the Heat, so keep that score in mind. The Heat got up by 13 against the Marlins in game one, so both teams will be conscious of that, with the Heat currently sitting in third spot on the ladder and the Marlins in fifth. This is a big game as far as context towards the postseason looks like.
Yeah, well, if you've had successful outing against them last time, why would you not run the same stuff? There's no doubt Jamie will have done his homework and prepared for it. But looking at the Heat, they have a very, very stacked roster, and they should take care of business, but don't discount Cairns. They'll work their butt off, and Jamie's no slouch as a coach.
Now, look, apologies in advance, any Cairns fans out there and any Cairns parents of players out there, if we mispronounce the names tonight. We didn't get a chance to have a good chat over the names, but we'll have a stab at what we think they are, and please forgive us if that's slightly wrong. But so for Cairns starting tonight, we've got Kawani, Jelena, Nului, Fisher, and how are we going with this one, Frols?
Fisher with
the last one is Krislovic we're going to go with. And
yeah, I'd give that a Krislovic.
And for the Heat, the familiar starting lineup for them with Wilshire, Jett, Crawford in the backcourt, with Baker and Frolling anchoring down the middle for them.
And I'm not going to apologise for any mistaken names. My name's been said and spelt wrong that many times. You got to live with it, baby. As
has mine, Shane. So we're both very familiar with that, and that's why we know that it can happen, and we'll be forgiving in our own rights as well. So just about to get underway here for this matchup, matchup in this northern pool between the Heat and the Marlins.
And you can see Cairns definitely starting with a smaller lineup as Harry Frolling tips it to Jett. Wilshire kicks it down to Peter Crawford. Crawford lining up. Now Wilshire will come off this screen. No, they isolate Jett in the paint. Harry attempts the board, comes up with it. Up, out to Jett. Kicks it back out to Wilshire. 5 seconds to go. They've got to get this thing up. I don't think they're aware. Wilshire turns it over. Cairns with the ball.
Steal there by Fisher. He's been identified as the key player from the Heat perspective to make sure they do a job on tonight.
Jelena hits a little turnaround jumper in the paint there for a 2-point lead.
And Jet looks over the offense here, and the ball ends up in Wilshire's hands, up at the top of the keyway for an on-ball from Froling.
Wilshire kicks it to Froling. Froling finds Crawford. Oh, Crawford with a turnover. The right idea.
Nervous start here from the Heat, starting with a couple of turnovers. And now we have Jelena hitting the three in transition from the corner.
Hoping the first 5 points of the game. Crawford, as easy as you like, slices to the bucket for two.
The Marlins wasting no time to get the ball back down the other end of the court. Now settling into their offense.
Again, very perimeter-based offense, it looks like at the start. Jet comes in with a reach, throwing outlet to Wilshire. Wilshire's sizing him up, makes the bucket with contact.
Nice finish there.
I can live with that, no call, and it's strong by Wilshire. All right, again, looking to move the ball around with that outside movement, ball movement, penetration. Gets his own rebound, number 15, who is...
Nalui makes a good basket there, and will go to the line with the foul being called on Townsville. Now looking to convert and add to this early lead for the Marlins. That first foul called on Justin Baker.
Nulu, all arms, no legs, goes short with that shot, and we're going to score a 7-4 to the Marlins.
Crawford
Nice
finds Froling early in transition. Nice rim run by Froling and finishes for his first bucket for the night.
Yeah, Peter Crawford identifying that early. Great pass. And again, the Heat switching on those on balls. Comes up Nulu, finishes up short. Jet coming down, finds Peter on the wide side for three. Rattles around, just pops out of the bucket.
And Harry just got after that glass, just a little bump out. And we'll see the Marlins come back now, leading by one early in this encounter.
Yeah, that shot was so in, it wasn't funny, as we see another three taken by Jelena. Miss, and up we come. The score being 6-7. Cairns up by one. Wilshire with a nice little look over the top. Unfortunately, doesn't get there.
And Marlins on the break, 3-on-3 now. Jelena attacks Baker. No luck from the referees.
Baker did well to keep his arms high. Harry Froling launches the three early in offense. Don't know if that's what the coach would want, but he's going to back himself.
We know Harry will shoot that shot if he's open, and I'm sure that Coach Anderson will be accepting that he's happy to have that shot early in this game.
Baker with a good hand on that shot. Newell.
Krislovic in there on the boards, misses on the putback.
Wilshire penetrates, easy little floater. He loves that floater with the left hand. Probably could have gone with his right, but loves that little left.
Good start here by Wilshire, keeping the score ticking over for the Heat.
Good intimidation there by Harry Froling in the paint. Wilshire bringing the ball up the court. Again, looking for the penetration. Baker going up, nice spin move, strong. Draws the foul.
Foul called there on Kawani. Baker just too strong for him down in the block. Brought him towards the middle, a nice drop step baseline, and he'll go to the foul line now to try and make this an M1.
Yeah, probably a bit unfortunate foul there. He did keep his arms up. He's protesting it, but, if the refs are consistent, you live with it.
And Coach O'Loughlin not really happy with that call either, but I'm sure those things will even themselves out as the game goes on.
He's a good Victorian. He knows how to ride referees, mate.
Spoken by somebody who has very often ridden a referee.
Absolutely.
With the Marlins working off the on-ball here. Jet, good hands up out of that trap. Finds the run, and Froling on the break. Makes the dunk, bobbles around, but falls in the hoop, and will now go to the line to try and extend this Heat lead early in the game.
Yeah, Jet, that was a fantastic intercept by Jet. And this is the thing that the opposition fall for. They don't realise he's ups. One thing Jet has is some ups, and he's pinched that out of midair, kicked it ahead. I thought it was going to Baker, but the drop pass to Froling for the the half dunk bucket count, and the bonus is good. Score 14 to 7.
I'm sure he'll be telling you it was a dunk when he gets home tonight.
Yeah, well, I've had a few more dunks than him, so he can talk all he likes. Dunked many a biscuit in a cup of tea.
Short by Jelena, and then the putback no good by Krislovic, and it's Heat ball leading 14 to 7 halfway through the first quarter.
Wiltshire to Crawford. Crawford coming off. Really nice follow-up screen by Harry Froling. Draws the foul. And seeing Pete move at that speed, it's like taking 5 years off him. He's moving very well. Aggressive cuts to the basket. He's got a spark in his step early.
The first substitution coming in for Cairns. We've got Matisek coming in for Kawani, who has 2 fouls and over to the bench. Nice skip from Crawford. Great skip from Crawford, and Froling finding the 2 on the drive.
Yeah, they're closing him out hard, thinking he's going to shoot that. So that was a clever drive there. Probably my only concern for Townsville right now is when a shot goes up that they have numbers to the boards. Harry Froling taps it loose, Cairns come up with the ball again.
And that's something they've been a little bit guilty of in the last couple of weeks, is not supporting the offensive shot as well. We see Cairns Marlins come up with the O board here. Now they'll slow down to work out of the middle on ball. Jelena looks to try and turn the corner, no luck. And a nice little floater down the middle of the lane by Nului.
Yeah, Harry got lost on defence there for a second. They didn't find his man, luckily, but so they found another penetration opportunity. As we now get the ball down to Wiltshire. Crawford coming off a screen as Wiltshire shoots. Harry taps it to Crawford, sorry. Can't tap it to yourself. Well, you can, but it was to Crawford. Wiltshire setting it up again, on-ball screen. Trying to penetrate, step back, and count the bucket for Wiltshire.
Wiltshire doing work in this first quarter right now. Keeping the scoreboard ticking over for the Heat. The Marlins working out of the punch screen there. Finding Matisek at the top of the keyway, no good, and Jet with the rebound.
Harry given a nice target down there. Nice feed by Jet. Easy money, right on the rim. And when Harry finds that mix of being able to play perimeter and on the rim, that's when he's going to play well. And good that the teammates are recognising that. It's great to see teammates recognising. Hopefully he'll do the same.
Jelena, nice little pull-up jumper at the elbow coming off the wing.
Yeah, he is absolutely carrying Cairns at the moment, 20 to 11. Harry looks for Baker on a bit of a wayward pass, but Cairns tap it out of bounds.
And Coach O'Loughlin for Cairns holding his nerve at the moment as far as these timeouts are concerned. You know, probably could have seen one burnt a little bit earlier, but he's remained composed and just trying to settle this thing through substitutions. And we see now coming in for his first minutes tonight is Lemke.
Yeah, he's decided to put a bit of size out there, you know. The Heat are big with Reese and Froling out there, so you better counter it. That's a heck of a pass by Jordan Jet. Great to see Jordan distributing that ball like that. It's, you know, he's very well known for getting to the bucket, but he's passing that ball really well.
Finding Tudo just stepping in after that inbound, threaded the pass, and Tudo just a nice little reverse layup.
Yeah, it's really good seeing Tudo shoot from within his range. As we take off, Wiltshire takes the ball down the floor.
Reese, good low seal. Wiltshire denies it, but then launches a three, unsuccessful. And it's Marlins ball down 22 to 11.
As we see Cairns put up a shot from outside, it's unsuccessful. Wiltshire powers up for the rebound, pushes it down the floor. He's got the two big boys running with him. Opts to kick it out to Tudehope. Harry Froling on the drive, spin. Heck of a pass around the body to Big Marty, who puts in the easiest of two.
And that timeout now called by the Cairns Marlins with the Townsville Heat leading 24 to 11.
And I joke about Tudehope being his range. He's like the old Warwick Giddy. Warwick Giddy could get a rebound 2 feet from the ring and pass it to Andrew Gay. So great teammate, not a great shooter. And Keegan will tell you, I'm always up him about shooting the ball. He needs to shoot it more.
And look, last game at home against Gladstone, he came out in the third quarter, I think it was, and knocked down 2 or 3 threes. And, you know, it was certainly unexpected and probably not on the Gladstone scout, and it took them by surprise. He's been a veteran of this team for many years and a great contributor.
Yeah, I've always said to him, you never know if you don't go. You've got to shoot it, mate. If you don't shoot it, you're in strife.
And Jamie's message here to the Cairns team, Shane?
Make some buckets.
It's a simple game. Put it in the hole.
I think the bigger message will be defence. You cannot allow the Heat to have 24 points as easy as they like. And they didn't start well. The first 3 minutes, the Heat weren't scoring at will. So they've only scored that in the last, you know.
Man, we'll see what they've gone straight into a horn set here.
Townsville going to switching those horn sets, and most players, being fairly versatile, can handle that. Again, I think that's over dribbling. We come up with Shoot Hope taps it, but unfortunately a Cairns player comes up with it and they reset. And
the referees ruled no possession there to the Heat. It was all just tipped around, so shot clock violation by the Marlins there. No awareness that the clock hadn't been reset.
To be honest, I was probably caught unawares on that too, so I can understand that one.
The Heat looked to feed the ball inside to Reese early.
Shoot Hope gets it back inside nicely. He's called 3 seconds on Big Marty. Yeah, an interesting one he'd probably let go, but if you don't know, you must get 2 feet out of the paint, and Matty did not.
Yeah, look, I think that deep catch, kick out, didn't leave the keyway, ball comes in again. To get rid of the ball straight away, the referees probably let that go, but just a little bit too long on the ball there.
Well, I had a recent trip to Victoria, and 3 seconds and travels just do not exist. Harry Froling tries to steal it, misses, and it's a kick out to
Matasek. He's looking to attack.
The shot is missed.
Unsuccessful.
Brendan McCulley.
Unsuccessful attempt from the corner there by Krislovic. And the Heat go about their work again. Wilshire off the high on ball, finds Froling, and another 2 easy at the rim.
Yeah, good strong drive by Harry. Again, a great find by Wilshire there. The way those guys are distributing the ball is great.
And McCulley hounding Fisher on the ball here now.
McCulley, one of the best defenders in this league, I think, and has been for a long time, even though he's getting a little older. But, yeah. Ball bounces nicely to Cairns, who gets 2 points there
and
for Lemke.
Lemke just cleans up the scraps there. And now see the Heat continuing to run this set. We'll see the high on ball or high post catch now for Froling from Wilshire. Turnaround from Froling.
He's on fire. He's hit a nice little fadeaway there after spinning to his left. 18 seconds ago, 28-13. Cairns will take the last shot.
And that's
not if McCulley can help it.
13 points for Froling already in the game. So his output matches the Cairns Marlins themselves at the moment. And he'll now make his way to the bench just to get that extended break out of quarter time. Yeah, and we see Jackson Todd and Jared Figg come into the game for the first time.
Yeah, not a bad idea, you know, get a little fatigue. What if he gets a foul in that 10 seconds? Good idea to sit him down. All right, Cairns are going with a horn set again. All right, there'll be a switch here by Matty. Keep him big, trying to draw the foul. They get it, and that's on the floor, so it'll be a baseline ball.
And only 3 seconds left on the clock here, so the Marlins will be working out of the sideline here, actually. And they'll need to find a shooter coming off some turnouts or something here, I'd imagine. You'd imagine a quick kick and an early movement towards the hoop, hopefully finding an outside shooter maybe.
You'd have to think Jelena with the way he's been scoring, and sure enough, there it is. And jump shot by Jelena is unsuccessful. McCulley, the power rebound at the end of the quarter, the score being 28-13.
So the Townsville Heat in control after quarter one. So looking at some of the key stats from the first quarter, we have Harry Frolling, as we said, leading the game with 13 points and 3 rebounds on 6 of 7 shooting at the moment. His only unsuccessful attempt, that one early 3-point attempt, which his father was a little bit judgmental about, but we'll carry on with allowing him to go. And then good contribution from Wilshire as well with 6 points in that first quarter. For the Marlins, Jelena's been their leading light with 7 points and Nului with 4 points, but it has really been a little bit limited from the Marlins with only 13 points at quarter time.
Yeah, Harry has had a great first quarter, and I know his mother will be sitting at home watching him and saying, geez, he's playing a lot like his father. So she'll be very happy to hear that, and we shout out to Jenny.
I think based on that comment, his mother might be sitting at home and thinking, has his father forgotten how he used to play? And maybe dementia's starting to set in a little bit with his father.
Yeah, possibly. He hasn't hit anyone yet, so that's a problem. But Cairns, Jamie right now is talking to his team, and he's talking about trying to get that ball into the paint a little bit. He, obviously, with the misses they've had, I can see him drawing up some plays of trying to get it in down around the paint area. So no doubt they'll be trying to put some heat on some of these players, get them in foul trouble. And I would not be surprised to see them play some sort of pressure defence up the floor.
Yeah, looking at fouls, there's no one from the Heat in any sort of foul trouble at the moment. All split across, both teams actually all single fouls across the board for 3 players on each side. So referees, I thought, officiated that first quarter pretty well, let the game be open, called what needed to be called. I know Coach O'Loughlin was unhappy with that one play on the rim, but I think fairly consistent the way that they've refereed it so far.
Yeah, I lean to the, let a bit of contact go. Like the ones they have called were the penetration baseline. You got a knee in the guy driving. That's, you got to call that. But a little bit of contact in the paint, no problem. Let them go.
All right, so it's Marlins ball to kick off this second quarter here, trailing by 15 after the first term.
Cairns continuing with this outside screening action game. Winding the clock down, getting it down. There's the penetration. Nice sneaky little bucket underneath there by Jelena. He is going to work.
Nice little pass there as well. I think that was Nului through that pass. Great find underneath the rim. And we see the Marlins in 3-2 zone here now. Crawford launches the 3 from the wing. All good and extends the Heat lead.
And if Pete gets his eye in, look out. He is certainly looking good tonight.
He found a little bit of form at home last week. His first stint wasn't that great, but in the third and fourth quarter, he came out and started hitting absolutely everything. So he looks like he's taken some of that confidence into this evening.
Fisher puts up a shot that's unsuccessful, and Townsville have it out on the baseline.
Jet taking control of the team here now while Wilshire sits, and congratulations to Jet being announced this week as an import signing for the Hawks in the upcoming NBL season.
As Brendan McCulley shoots a 3, it bounces long, and Todd competes. It gets knocked out of bounds, but again, they're the little things that don't get recognised. Great by Todd. McCulley not hesitating to shoot the 3, even though he's not known for it. But hey, as I said, shoot him up.
And Biggs change over here for the Heat with Frolling and Baker coming back into the game.
Yeah. And Jet's been quiet this game, so I'd expect him to pick up his scoring in a minute too. Goes to the basket and hands down by Baker. Baker's really had a few fouls called on the refs through the season, and I think the adjustment he's got to make, he gets those hands down. If he can get his hands up in the air, we talk so much about in the girls' game they did that well. I think that'll reduce that a little bit.
So that's Baker's second foul. So the first player with multiples out there on the bench, on the court. Fisher, nice attack off the left hand. beats the extended hand by Froling and makes the 2.
As I say that, Baker did a great job keeping his hands out there not to pick up the third. Here's Jordan Jet with the ball now. Peter Crawford sweeping the baseline. Looking in for the reversal pass. There's Jet's first bucket of the night.
And great movement of the zone, one side to the other, flooded the other side of the court, and then find the easy kick for the open shot on the weak side.
Here's that penetration game we were talking about with Cairns trying to get in and get some buckets. Jet scraps for the ball. Foot violation, Townsville ball on the side.
And Kristlevic down on the ground competing after that. Couldn't help but stick the foot out to try and deflect the ball when it looked like it was going to be the Heat ball. No harm, no foul. Heat's ball now here with Wilshire back into the game for McCulley going to the bench.
Score is 34-17. Peter Crawford is wide open. Why he didn't shoot that, I don't know. That's an Olympic shooter right there. But Baker will take the 2.
And the Heat continuing to shoot the lights out right now. 36 points up on the board already only 2.5 minutes into the second quarter.
Yeah, defensively, you got to harass this team more. So. And again, no big presence inside for Cairns. They're just playing the perimeter game and hoping for penetration or roll action.
Kristlevic finds Kawani on the wing.
Did Peter Crawford block that? Peter Crawford has taken 5 years off.
If he didn't block it, he's trying to claim it by looking down at his hand afterwards. But comes down the other end and hits the 3 out of the trail. Yeah, nice reversal and danger signs. Big danger signs for the Marlins right here with the Heat leading 22.
I had a feeling Pete's feeling it tonight. He's got some youth in him. Look out, Cairns. Nice pass there, kick out wide again to Jelena. Misses this time. Froling takes off with the ball with a left-hand dribble. Punches it ahead. Nice attempt to Baker, but a little too much heat on it. Right idea, just too much heat. Baker ran the floor very well.
Now, that's the comparison to his father's game that I would see right there, was that pass.
Again, he didn't knock anyone over, mate. You can't compare.
Now, here we go with the Marlins, my apologies, working out of the punch screen here. Jelena not shy, missing another shot, and it's the Heat now with Jet under control with the ball. Out of the high on ball from Baker. Not there, just extra kick to the wing. Froling finds it at the top of the hoop. Little short.
Yeah, that was the right shot to take. He's got to make those though if you're going to shot. And that's great defense. It's come off the Cairns player last. And again, Townsville putting the clamps on. We have a timeout.
Timeout called by the Cairns Marlins, down 22 with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Look, danger signs for O'Loughlin calling a timeout at this point in time, but I suppose there's no point waiting any longer if you're already down that margin. But this gives the Heat a real opportunity. If they can get on a run over this next 6 minutes, this game could be almost over by half-time.
Yeah, he's got to change the tempo. He's got to start pressing up the floor or junking up his defences. The zone early didn't work for them, but he's got to come up with something. Then he's got to come up with something offensively. He's got to get them better looks or looks that they are going to make. You know, he might have all the best offenses in the world, but if they're not working for him, he's got to figure something else out quick.
So we've got now out of this timeout, Froling 13, Crawford 8, Wilshire 6, Baker 5. It just rattled Jet 3 across the Heat starting lineup. So whereas for the Marlins, you've got Jelena with 9, Nalui with 4, and Fisher with 2. I know Fisher's been identified as the danger man for the Marlins, and that's where the Heat think that all their play runs through. So they've done a good job on him, keeping him out of the game so far.
Yeah, look, I think Cairns are going to start running some on-ball screen action and then some looks to the weak side. So bringing the ball around, lifting that weak side player up, reversing it and seeing if they can go one-on-one to get to the hoop, looking at what Jamie may have drawn up there.
So Wilshire now taking control out of this timeout, and the Marlins into a zone. Great screen on the backside of the zone, finds Baker. Unlucky, and Froling just gets a deflection out of his hands on the O boards.
Yeah, Townsville had obviously talked about that zone because Harry went and screened away for Baker, and you get a great look. He just fumbled the pass a bit, so they're well and truly read it, and you would have known Jamie had to change something up.
The Marlins find Matisek for a 3 in transition the other way, but we come back down. The Heat execute through an on-ball play on the top of the zone, and Jet knocks down the open jumper, the long 2.
Yeah, there's nothing better than that high on screen against the zone. I love that. And again, it's what I thought the Boomers should have used last night. Harry Froling takes a rebound, looks ahead to Jet. He's got Baker running to the rim. Jet decides to pull it back out and go across to Wilshire. Wilshire will find Peter Crawford, who will shoot it from a metre out, and that is cash. I got a feeling PC's going to go off.
He's certainly looking in his vibe right now. And that was well and truly long outside the 3. And then down the other end, the Marlins. Fisher finds a way to exploit and get his way to the rim. Draws the foul.
Baker's going to have to come out. That'll be his 3rd.
No, that foul was first, so that was not called on Baker, that one.
Okay.
So not quite sure where that foul went to.
Okay, he was frustrated. I thought it was his. That's, there you go. Good, he can relax a little. Harry Froling comes
So that
up with
foul
the board.
was actually called on Harry Froling.
Wilshire comes down, throws a bad pass, gives him a clear layup. Cairns, you know, they're not giving up, which is a good thing to see. And you love a good competition. You don't want to see them die.
Fisher looking to try and grab this game by the horns in this timeout. He's now had 2 buckets, couple of steals, and now we'll go to the foul line again. So Fisher, the man identified by Coach Anderson before the game as their spark plug, has certainly turned this game a little bit out of timeout and forced Coach Anderson to now call his own timeout to settle his troops.
Yeah, it's, that's what Coach would be looking for, you know, the Brad Davidson of this team that can be the spark plug, come and get into it. But again, I dare say you'll see Jamie O'Loughlin change it up a little bit. There'll be some full court pressure, there'll be some zone, and we'll see if Coach Anderson is ready for it.
So the Townsville coaching staff having a little bit of a meeting before going into this timeout, and you know, one of the Townsville coaching staff about to leave the Townsville organisation, Bradley Cann, is you know, announced yesterday successful to go down to Tasmania and head up the program in northern Tasmania. So good luck to Brad, who'll be departing the club soon. But we'll see if Rodney drags in. Greg Vanderjagt might make his reappearance back on the bench like he did last year, now that the season's well underway down the stretch.
Yeah, Brad's going to have to take his winter woolies down there. He'll be snap frozen, and, you know, like any good coach down there, he'd just be snap frozen, not have to say anything. He'll kick goals.
Now we come out of this timeout, and it'll be 2 free throws here for Fisher. You know, 20-point margin. It's been trimmed down in the last couple of minutes, and he'll now look to get this thing back below that 20.
Yeah, straight into a press here, I dare say, and if the Heat are smart about that, they'll pass through it and get a bucket down the other end. Harry Froling has been quiet for the last few. Baker needs it. Our big guys need to get back into this game.
Do you think the zone's maybe thrown that balance out a bit, Shane? Or?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. And Jamie would be searching that out. No press though, they're just back into the zone.
So we might see the customary play from the Heat coming up here soon, where they look for Jet on the lob out of the back screen at the back of the zone. But this play we find Wilshire missing the 3 and Fisher on the run again.
Peter Crawford almost with a steal, but deflects it for Baker to steal. Peter straight down the other end, ready for the ball, deep in the corner. Baker for 3, and it's a miss. Again, I do not like the fact you have 1 rebounder on the offensive boards.
And Fisher again taking control of this ball, pulled down the defensive board, then initiates the offense. Got
9 seconds to go.
Trapped down the low post there. Now Fisher coming out of penetration against Jet. Jet deflects the ball. And the Heat on the break.
Jet to the rim for an easy 2. Okay, Harry Froling very aware of players around him. Gets it to Jet for the bucket.
The Marlins looking to slow things down a little bit here. Fisher feeds down into the low block. Krislovic goes to work and gets the foul called.
And again, that's the trick with Harry Froling and Baker. They put their hands down. You give the ref every chance to call a foul. Get your hands out wide. Use your body strength, and you got a chance. But Krislovic will now line up, ready for a little post feed. Gets the ball, kicks it out across. 2 players turn out the same screen. A little bit of a mistake there in offense. Isolation 2-man game, like the old Michael Jordan days.
Krislovic for 3, misses. Wilshire pulls down the board. Crawford looking to find Baker. Bad pass. Picked off, and the Marlins on the run. Kwani, just little fumble there under the pressure from Jet. Now we see isolating Froling down the low block with those 2 fouls. Misses the shot, but we see a foul on the rebounding contest. Foul called on Peter Crawford with a little push off the ball there.
Yeah, he got sort of squeezed out. The big guy muscled him and he flipped him to the floor. Now we see both Harry Froling and Peter Crawford come off the court. Big call by the coach, but they probably will need a rest with 2 minutes to go.
Look, I think probably just that play with particularly the Froling sub where both Baker and Froling were two fouls at the moment. The last couple of minutes of this quarter, don't want one of them or both of them to pick up 3. So, you know, trying to just protect one of his starting bigs here and chosen Harry as his premier one that he wants to look after.
Again, 20-point lead, probably a good time to rest them. But, yeah, they're just with Cairns making this little bit of a run. But he has got Fig in. Now, if anyone can steal the ball off Fig, they're doing well because he's so quick and low to the ground. You've got to have quick hands to get it off him. Baker brings it up through Wilshire. Wilshire comes across to Jet. Nice target by Todd in the post. Cairns doing a really good job of packing this zone in. They're inviting Townsville to shoot from the outside.
Jet looking with the isolation at the top. Feeling it a little bit right now and launching that shot over Julina's hand, making the 3. Marlins on the quick attack the other way. Lemke up against Todd and gets the call, and we'll see him go to the foul line.
I was just about to praise Todd. You see the difference between Todd and the other 2 bigs. He's got his arms out, he's got his arms up, he's using his body, he's worn the hit. Unfortunately got called for the foul. I actually think that was really good D.
Yeah, Scott Brown calling that on the hand as well. Yeah, I tend to agree. I thought Todd was pretty upright there, so a little bit of bad luck.
Yeah.
And we've got a 5-0 foul count actually in this second quarter against the Heat, so no love coming that way right now.
Again, I'd be getting Baker and Froling to watch how he had his hands out, and that's the way you need to play D. So unfortunate foul, but the score is now 49-29. 20-point lead remains for the Heat as we kick it to Wilshire. Over to Fig. Dribbles into the dead corner. Back to Wilshire. Reverse to Jordan. Absolutely missed Todd, who was open on the baseline.
Wilshire open for 3 and makes it.
Good. Jamie's not going to like that. He's doing the right thing, trying with the zone, but once you start hitting threes, he may have to change again.
And look, just good patience from the Heat there. They work the ball side to side, second, third side. Third side was where they finally found the open shooter. Julina pulling up at the elbow here, unsuccessful. Todd with the board, now Wilshire on the move. 1 minute to go, or minute 12 to go in this first quarter. Heat up 52-29.
Baker playing on the outside. I'd like to see him post up a bit, but even a little risky there. I'd probably get him out in this minute, just so he doesn't pick up that 3rd foul as well, as we talked about earlier.
Fig harassing Kawani there, but no luck. And then Jet picking up the foul, coming across on help.
Yeah, Jet had great position. He went straight up. You know, the problem with that is it is a foul because he's in the charge circle. If he's not in the charge circle, there's no way that's a foul. And, yeah, tough call, but he's right. And as we're talking about, Jet and Baker both come out for a break. Score is 29-52.
And Wilshire to the bench as well. So mass subs here for the Heat with Reese, White coming in for his first minutes, and Tudhope looking to play out this last minute. Kwani makes the first from the foul line.
52-30.
Converts with the second. So 51 seconds here, about 3 possessions left in this game for the first half anyway.
Winding the clock down now. Figgy takes a little dribble, penetrate in the middle, gets intimidated on the drive, but again, Todd fighting for the board, missed it, unfortunately. Now reaches in. Should not have reached in, you know. But I guess if you look at it positive, we may get the last possession.
And we'll walk down the other end now for the Marlins, who enjoy this very lopsided foul count in the second quarter to go and shoot the bonus shots here, with Lemke stepping up to the line.
Yeah, I'm usually one to nail the refs if they do something wrong, but I don't think this quarter's been that horrible by the referees. I just think the Heat have made some mistakes and are paying for it.
Well, the Marlins have played in that zone and probably just, you know, taking the risk of occupying space and not getting too much entangled in the man-on-man battle, and that's paid off for them on that end of the floor at least.
Absolutely. Now there will be 2 possessions left, so hopefully the Heat wind it down and force the Marlins to put a rush shot up at the end.
So we've got 7 second, or about 7 second differential between the shot and game clock. Fig shoots the long 3.
And pull it out.
No reset on the shot clock there. Didn't hit the rim, so Tudhope has to launch late on the clock. Off the rim, Marlins get the ball with 7 seconds remaining. And another foul called.
Yeah, that's a foul. Whitey's got to be smart and get in a stance. He just rode him sideways. So gives him a chance to get another couple of buckets on us. And for 52-33 with 3 seconds to go.
So it's just an interesting play here from Anderson, putting Froling back into the game. 3 seconds to go.
Yeah, I don't know what it's for, possibly for rebounds, but I'd probably have both Marty and Harry on, but anyway, Rod's call, and we will see what happens. First bucket successful. Score is 52-34. Misses a second. They come up with a tip and another tip, and unsuccessful. Half time, we go into a score of 52-34. Townsville leading the game. Definitely, Coach Jamie had slowed the scoring of the Heat down with his junking up at the end, but they weren't converting by making many baskets, and I'm sure Mark will have a number of stats on that right now.
So a 24-21 quarter there for the Heat, so just extending their lead by 3 at half time. But as you said, Coach O'Loughlin will be a lot happier, obviously, with that second quarter. So at half time, we see the Heat going in leading by that score by 18 points. Froling leading the scorers for Townsville with 13, Crawford 11 and Jet 10. While for the Marlins, we have Jelena leading with 9 and Fisher, that spark plug in the second quarter, coming back with 8 points, and Lemke with 7 off the bench.
Yeah, so Townsville definitely stopped going to the people who were scoring. Jet stepped it up a little bit though, which was good. Peter Crawford looked like he was about to shoot the lights out. So when you recognise guys like that going off, you need to find them. And you need to get some plays for them. Again, I've got a feeling that Peter Crawford is feeling it tonight.
Look, we'll take a break here from Star FM Stadium in Townsville, with the Townsville Heat leading at half time, 52-34. Welcome back to Star FM Stadium here in Townsville for this QBL matchup between the Townsville Heat and the Cairns Marlins. At halftime, the Townsville Heat lead 52-34. Shane, you were able to catch up with Coach Anderson?
Yeah,
What do you have to say?
DJ was happy with their defence, holding to 34 points. A little bit unhappy with the foul count, he felt. But again, in my opinion, I didn't think it was something unwarranted. And he said they definitely had a bit of trouble with the zone. There seems to be a big hole in the middle, but they're not getting the ball in around that area. So he's going to try and focus on getting that into there. And he also addressed that Peter Crawford will probably get a few more looks. So I'd say they'll run some plays to him.
So I didn't manage to catch the coach O'Loughlin, but managed to catch Kerry Williams for a brief chat at halftime. And he said, look, they were aware that obviously the zone did their job, and slowed the Townsville Heat down and brought them back into the game. But the one adjustment that we want to see from the Marlins in the second half is when they do play in the man, they want to really try and turn the pressure up a lot. He made the comment about the fact when the Heat are turning up their defense, the Marlins are making their catches like 2-3 meters outside the three-point line and really being pushed out of their offense. So when the Marlins play a man, that's going to be their aim, is really get after it and try and assert some more pressure here.
Yeah, and looking at what he's drawing up, he's definitely drawing up some on-ball screen action stuff that I can see. And I saw it earlier, I mentioned the old Jordan two-man game. It's where they get the two guys up on the weak side, a high post and a guard, and they try and clear out that side with a screen action. And he's definitely gone to the old triangle and two type setup there.
So as we said, here at Townsville, we're Townsville Heat leading 52-34. Just a quick few checks on some other scores around at other games tonight. And at the Battle of Gold Coast and the men's, the Rollers are leading 59-52, close to the end of the third quarter there. The Brisbane Spartans might get their first victory of the season. They're leading the University of Sunshine Coast Rip by 43-37. And in Gladstone, the Power trail the Rockets by 10 early in the third term.
And we go back out onto the floor with it being a Townsville ball. Baker will get the ball on the sideline, and we're about to start play. Ball comes into Wilshire. Peter Crawford sitting low in the hole. They're trying to spread the floor out the Heat. Reverse through Peter Crawford. Crawford looks to skip the Jordan Jet. Wilshire to Crawford, into Baker. Baker a little slow on the move, but takes the step back. Who rebounds it? Jordan Jet with a rebound to Wilshire. Three. That will always hurt his own.
And look, better competitiveness straight away on the glass there, which is what you were calling for a lot in the first half, Shane. So good to see them get no board first possession and Wilshire coming up with the goods. We see the Marlins working out of the high on ball here, as you predicted. Kick across. And we end up with the first score for the Marlins in the second half by Nului.
Yeah, they're definitely going to try and get that weak side action happening where they isolate players. Nice skip pass. Harry, a no look to Peter Crawford, who drives, kicks it to Jet. Jet to Froling, out to Wilshire. Jet slows it down. Peter Crawford, here it is. Boom, there it is, Peter Crawford. I'm telling you, go to him because he is on tonight.
And the Marlins trying something a little bit different there, not just going straight back to the zone, playing in a bit of a half-court trap. The Heat beat it by that long pass over the top to Froling, but be interesting to see if they can try and get some turnovers generated out of that.
Jet with the intercept, takes off. He's going to go upstairs here and lays it up, but misses. As we come down the court, Cairns pushing the ball aggressively. All the contact made by Cairns. They slow it down, and now he's back at it again.
Kawani dishes off there. No luck. And then the extra pass by the Marlins almost turned over and then caused a turnover by Wilshire with the heads-up play, throwing it back in off Kawani's foot, and it'll be Heat ball here. Up 22, 2 minutes into the third quarter.
All right, Peter Crawford is wide open on the weak side if they find him, and there he is. forces it into Harry Froling. That pass was never there, unfortunately. Peter, feeling hot, you should shoot it, son. Cairns come down again with the ball. On-ball screen against Wilshire. Good defence. Cannot fault that defence, but Cairns get the rebound and stick it back. Score is 58-38.
Wilshire off the punch screen there from Baker up near halfway. Froling with the early shot. Again, not quite sure that's what Coach Anderson would have wanted, but you've got to back your players to make their decisions. Now the Marlins come back looking to try and get this thing under 20 for the first time in a while.
Krislovic goes, no, kicks it out wide.
Jelena with the miss from the three.
Jelena had that great first quarter, but has gone quiet now. Harry Froling would come in for the Peter Crawford screen. Jet with a clear lane, easy basket.
Jet puts on the Jets there and finishes with that layup. But Jelena back the other way. Froling gets called for the goaltend. Just quite didn't get it off the glass quick enough. And heads up play by Jelena, I think it was, getting it on the glass pretty quickly.
Yeah, very close, but anything close should be a bucket, so you can live with that. Post feed to Harry Froling, who shoots the two. Board by Baker, very skillfully done. Somehow catches the ball with one hand, twists it around, puts his offhand on the defender's head and puts it in and gets the foul.
And Kawani, I think, wondering what the foul was there. Was it a headbutting foul? I think he was questioning, but foul's been called and Baker goes to the line for the M1.
Oh, that's a beautiful play, elevating off the opponent's head and getting the foul.
Baker makes the extra.
We have a score of 63-40. Townsville up by 23 now.
Fisher looking to get himself back involved in the game. Misses. Baker pulls down the board.
Yeah, Baker's looking a bit more ominous now.
He's certainly found a spark since half time.
Oh, Harry Froling could have got it into Baker then. Baker's given us a good fight in the post.
Crawford running circles everywhere right now, trying to find himself open. And Baker takes advantage of that with a one-on-one matchup. And he's come out and really asserted himself in those first few minutes of the third term.
Again, I've been a critic of not finding those postmen in previous games where Baker is on that isolation, and they did a great job to get him that ball and let him go to work. As Wilshire drives, easy as you like, two off the glass. Went around three players there, tough little left-hand flip and in.
And just like that, it's a 27-point game, the way of the Heat.
And the difference is they're really looking to put it inside, so it's going to free up guys outside also.
So rebound there by Jet off another missed attempt from the Marlins.
I would expect a timeout by Jamie O'Loughlin if there's a score here, which there is by Jordan Jet, throwing it into Harry Froling for a spin to the baseline. That timeout will not be far away. If it's not a timeout, it will be subs.
Yeah, the subs coming to the bench now, looking to try and sway something here. Lemke moving towards the bench. The Marlins find a nice little find inside to Krislovic there, and he makes the little spot from the dunker, little shot from the dunker spot.
Jordan Jet on the penetration, tries to find Baker. Good idea, but a little bit forced.
Now the Marlins.
Krislovic on ball screen to Fisher. Fisher drives. Krislovic should have a layup here, and there's the foul. Who's it going to be on? I would guess Peter Crawford.
I think it's going on Crawford. No, on Froling.
13, that's been called on Harry Froling. You had a choice there, so either one could get it. That will be Harry Froling's third foul. Will he go to the bench?
So Coach Anderson going to trust him a little bit here, try and eke out probably another minute or so if he can before having to pull that move. We see Hope come in for Baker here, which is a little bit interesting. Baker's been pretty good through this quarter, unless Baker just fatiguing a little bit and asking for that sub. I'm not sure that would have been the string I would have pulled.
No, he hasn't asked for that sub. And, you know, and when a guy's starting to feel it, let him go. But, again, coach has decided to rest him. And it's hard when you've got a deep team.
Yeah.
Hope brings the ball up.
The Marlins in that extended trap back into the zone again here, which has done the job of slowing the Heat offense down.
Nice find in the middle. Harry Froling takes it to the basket, makes it, gets fouled by Krislovic. And will go to the bonus. Actually, Fisher who fouled him, so he will go to the basket for the bonus shot.
And look, that's just not good enough defence, to be honest, at this level. You know, Froling turned, catch at the free throw line, little ball fake, brought the players out of stance, and then drove through 3 players effectively to get to the rim.
Yeah, the thing that worries me, and that's a tough call on Peter Crawford there. He's just competing for the boards. That's a rubbish call in my opinion. But, you know, Pete, great to see him competing for the boards. Going back to the zone offense, Harry Froling open in the middle. Everyone moves. Peter Crawford was wide open on the wing. So if Harry didn't have the drive, he's got the shooter.
So Marlin's running out of a horn set here. Looking to try and find Lemke in the low post. Not there.
Peter
Reverse.
Crawford sails past him. They shoot the 3 and it's good.
Jelena with the 3 on the extra pass from the corner. Nice find there from Matisek. Just took the dribble into the keyway and then found Jelena.
Score is 71-47 as the Heat work the ball around. There's the alley-oop. That play was so set up that you could see it coming a mile off. 2 nice picks at the back of that thing. Boom, Jet with a flush.
And look, the Marlins went to a 3-2 zone there, and that just let that play wide open.
Cairns really struggling on offense here, and they're really lopsided. They just don't find that weak side guy at all, which when they do, you get that.
Jelena, another 3, so he's doing his job right now for the Marlins, trying to keep him in this game, but you know, he needs someone to come along for the ride right now. Fisher had that couple of good minutes in the second quarter, but besides that, it's been few and far between with helpers.
And again, nice reversal. That zone far too slow. Jet wide open. You've got to get that ball moving against the zone, and they're the results.
And the Marlins now back down by 26. Pretty quickly, that score blew back out again.
Krislovich with a nice little baseline jumper there. As we get the ball up into Jordan Jet's hands again. Move it through the top of Peter Crawford, out to Wilshire. There'll be a nice little pass. No, he puts the 3 up. It's a big 3. No rebounders again.
Krislovich off the outlet. We find Fisher with the 3-point shot, no good. And Wilshire now back under control. Froling running a good lane down the center of the court, and probably unlucky not to get it. We find Jet with the 3. A lot of 3s being launched right now, probably from all the players that we don't want to see it, because Mr. Crawford hasn't got a touch lately.
Right, again, I'm concerned when I see my bigs nowhere near the rebounds. If I haven't got 3 guys going to the boards, I'm worried, you know. Definitely something they can repair.
This 3-2 zone just slowing things a little bit. Froling gets a good catch at the high post. 3-4 players condensed down into him. Wilshire kicks back out to Froling. And the foul. 3-point is made. Silly foul there by Krislovich. Just a little bit too eager on that contest of the shot. And now we see Froling going to the line for the 4-point play possible.
Yeah, I don't think I ever made one of those plays. I might have got 4 fouls in one play, but never 4 points.
Probably some caused 4-point plays, Shane, through unsportsmanlike and tech fouls on the odd occasion, or
no one ever scored off my fouls. Harry Froling nails the bonus. No, it's a miss, so he'll take the 3 points, and Cairns bring the ball down the field. They're in a horn set again.
Down the field here we've got tonight.
Living at a football stadium hurts me.
So Jelena with the pull-up jumper, no good. McCulley, nice defensive rebound.
Wilshire comes off the Chute Hope screen, flips it out to Harry Froling. Little dribble behind the back out to Wilshire, and money. It's an onslaught of 3s. The score is 82-52. Jamie, I can bet we'll get back into some sort of funky defense to try and slow it down.
Well, he's been trying that 3-2 zone, which hasn't quite worked. You know, the 2-3 one in the first half was pretty successful. So you have to wonder why the change is. We might have to go back to that for the Marlins' perspective.
That's a offensive foul there against Wilshire, who definitely milked that. Yeah, the contact was there. Probably could have let that go, but Harry Froling got down there to help him. as we talk. The subs now for Wilshire and Froling coming out with a minute to go. Again, good move to get Froling out of there so he doesn't pick up his fourth and give Wilshire a bit of a rest.
So
Nice.
Skip to McCulley in the corner. He decides not to take the shot. Move through Fig now, open for three. In and out.
Easy shot there for Fig. He should be making that. He probably doesn't have the power in those little legs. He needs to get in the gym, I think, and that'll help his shot.
I don't think Figgy knows how to spell gym, Shane, so that's probably why I can't find it too often.
Yeah, I don't think they're all J Figs, so I don't think there is a Jim Fig, is there?
No, there's no Jim Fig.
Yeah.
Figgy looking to turn a speed here against Kwani. White back onto the court as well for the Heat. And
Nice
found by Tudhope in the corner. Tudhope ends up with the ball back in his hands. Unsuccessful with the three. The Marlins will have last shot of this third quarter, trailing by 30 points. Jelena with control of the ball. Looking to work off the on-ball. Tudhope does a good job staying in front. Forces the contested jumper. No good. Tudhope lets one fly late and misses.
That's hurting his shooting percentage there, poor old Tudhope, you know. Gets that one from one at the rim and then launches up a couple of long ones. But again, cannot question his effort. Great player.
At three-quarter time, we see the Townsville Heat leading 82-52. Certainly not the score that I would have expected coming into this game after we had a 13-point game up in Cairns for game one. I know that Coach Anderson was conscious of what that spread was in case it came into the factor late in the game, but it's going to take something very special from the Marlins to dig themselves out of this hole.
Yeah, 30 points. If you win that, if you lose that game, you need your butts kicked. But right now, what I would expect is, again, Coach Jamie is going to do one of two things. He's either going to put some heat on these guys up the floor or junk some defense up, or he could, as you say, put the Q in the rack and rest them for tomorrow night.
But look, doesn't get any easier tomorrow night. They head down to Mackay and play the Mackay team, which I think is currently, by my recollection, sitting on top of the ladder. So, you know, that's not going to make things any easier for them by going down there.
Yeah, and again, Jamie coming through that Victorian system, I would not expect that. But when you're 30 down, they're the things that would run through your head. He, again, is going with a fairly small lineup, and I don't know that that's worked for them. So it'll be interesting to see. Not that he has many big guys out there, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
So just running through some of those other scores on the Gold Coast, the Seahawks have now taken control of that game and are up 5 with 2 minutes 45 to go over the Rollers. We've got the Spartans still leading against the USC Rip. And in Gladstone, the Rockets are forging ahead away from the power there, leading 85-66 near the end of the third term. Meanwhile, in Townsville, we have the Heat up 30, 82-52, with the Heat scoring spread: Froling 20, Wilshire 17, Jet 17, Crawford 14, Baker 10. As opposed to the spread from the Marlins is very restricted to Jelena with 17, Fisher with 8, Lemke with 7 off the bench, and Louis with 6.
And Coach Rod Anderson going with the bench here. So he's showing a bit of faith in those guys. Being 30 up can be a little dangerous, but again, you would think 30 up that you got it in the bag.
So Fisher out of the close attention from Todd. They find Louis in the low block. And then Krislovic, nice, tough move. Strong finish off contested body, and the foul there by
White. I don't know why White
there
left his feet. He should have stayed on the ground, held position, and left his feet. The Krislovic was smart enough to dribble in and draw the foul. Little bit of dissension there between the guys. Who should have been where, what, how. They need to get over it and on with it.
So the Heat back through. Quick play down here. Finds McCulley on the wing.
And Jamie's going, he's not putting any Q in any rack. He is pressured up the floor, straight back into this zone defense. Is it? No, it's man defense, so they're pressuring the heck They're going for the heat. They're going to take us lightly. We're going to go at them. Shoot Hope misses.
And look, that's the play you got to make, really, isn't it, Shane? That if the opposition coach decides, you know, we're up by 30, we can run some of our other players out here who don't play as many minutes. You've got to really try and take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves. Fisher gets a steal off a bad pass there. The Heat initially defended well, but caused a turnover, and Fisher gets picks off the pass, makes the layup, fouled, and will go to the line for one.
Yeah, and again, Jamie should be doing what he's doing, run at these guys hard. And Todd there did a great job scrapping the ball, but inexperienced, flips a lazy pass to Fisher. Then we foul him.
Makes the extra.
Here's this press again by Cairns with 2-2-1, and they're pressuring the heck out of the ball handler. Pass that thing over, and you will break it in a second. And there's that pass over, layup, dunk. That's how you break that press. The bench is up, seeing Todd sort of elevate to dunk that. Kick out for the three. That's good, and we have a score of 84-61. 8 minutes 30 to go.
So it's gone from 30 to 27. Oh, sorry.
Fig penetrates with a nice kick out to Todd. Todd's feeling it. He's going to work here with a little left flipper. Doesn't come off.
Kawani with the rebound again. The Marlins looking to push the ball again here.
Chudo very active on defence. Almost comes up with the ball. There's the skip pass, the weak side to Fisher for three. Boom, you hit it. I would suggest Coach Anderson might make a sub or two if they hit another one or two of those buckets.
And Baker's sitting there waiting to come back in, and Wilshire moving towards the bench now as well, as the lead has been trimmed by 10 in the first 2 minutes of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, very dangerous to play like this, and getting Wilshire back in as a general will help. But as I say that, Fig goes, not in my house. I've got some leg strength. I'm going to hit that three.
Shot from the corner, the closest three-point shot to the rim, but Figgy makes it. Milui on the post here, unsuccessful. Chudo with a big rebound.
Chudo going, I'm going to the bucket. Dishes. Not a really good pass there, but good for effort.
And then the Marlins don't take advantage there, with Milui just missing the alley-oop shot there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a worry when you do all the hard work and miss some of the easier buckets, but Coach Jamie will go away and work on that.